And we're into December 2025. That has just gone so fast. It's absolutely outrageous. I can't believe it. This is your Ascendant forecast for the week starting Monday, the 1st of December, taking you right the way through to Sunday, the 7th of December, 2025. If you're new to this channel, by the way, my name's Louisa. Hey there. So I'm using a Western whole sign tropical model to do this. When I bring up my charts in a second, I'll just quickly explain what that might mean. Really, what I look at each week is the planetary picture coming up and how that might affect you as somebody with Aries ascendant or Aries rising sign, as you might call it. Yeah, we've got a few. There's nothing too big taking place next week, apart from this big old full moon on Thursday the 4th, a full moon in Gemini. So if you've got a Sagittarius or a Gemini energy prominent in your chart, this will be quite an interesting one for you. We've also got the last of the water grand trines coming up at the end of this week. So there's going to be, I think, a resetting of the planetary energy. This autumn, we've had a really sort of strong run of oppositions. We're coming to the end of those, and also these grand water trines. So to me, this is the start of the stopping of the autumn story. You know, we're coming to the end. We're coming not into the final chapter yet, but we are really close. And so this full moon, I think, will blow up anything, you know, that's left to expand upon. You know, where you might need some more clarity and illumination. But beyond that, we're coming into a whole new series of patterns, which I'm guessing you're going to be like, yay. So anyway, let's bring up my charts now and see where this takes us. So if you're new, I've already introduced myself. My name's Louisa, but I always just start by putting a thank you out to all the people who have sponsored me, who pay me monthly, who give me donations, who, you know, are part of my membership. Thank you so much, because you make all of this possible, and I couldn't do this without you. I really couldn't now. So thank you very much. Anyway, these are the charts I've got for you, and you'll see that this is using a whole sign Western tropical model. Now, what I mean by that is, this is the first house here. It always starts at 9 o'clock if you're looking at it as if it's a clock. And we got the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, right the way through to the 12th house. And with a Western tropical whole sign energy, we've got one sign per house. If when you look at your birth chart, you see that you've got the sign of Aries, and also Taurus in your first house, then it's also worth listening to my Taurus forecast, because that'll also be relevant. Anyway, these are the most important things that I've listed for the week ahead. You can also see the days when the moon is changing signs. So it goes into the sign of Taurus on Tuesday the 2nd. There's not much actually happening on the 1st, which is why I haven't mentioned this. I'm only talking about planet to planet energies, or things like full moons. So we've got the moon going into Taurus on the 2nd. We've also got moon going into Gemini on the 4th. 4th's quite a big day with that full moon. And finally, we've got the moon going into Cancer on Saturday the 6th. What I would say is the beginning, it really feels like we've got this resettling energy. You know, we're trying to come back into our bodies again with the moon in Taurus, Venus sextile Pluto. We're really wanting our 5 senses, which is very much a Venus thing. You know, Venus is also the ruler of Taurus. You know, we're coming back into our bodily physical power. And for you, that's really hitting in your 2nd house, which is about your resources that you've got, how you earn money. So I do think Monday and Tuesday and into Wednesday, it's really good to be as grounded as you can. Look at the money you've got, touch money. Don't just use cards for everything, like literally touch money, appreciate money, and think about the physical things that's helping you to get into your body again. And then from Thursday the 4th, when we've got the moon going into the sign of Gemini and also this full moon, we'll have the moon here and the sun here in opposition. This is going to be challenging, not necessarily difficult houses. You know, there are other houses, other signs of the zodiac that are going to have a more challenging time at this full moon. but this full moon is likely to give you a few questions about where you belong. And how do you know that you belong? Like that sense of there's change within the local community, the people that you might sort of love and trust. It feels like there's a few things going on there. And then as we're coming into Saturday and into Sunday, as the moon goes into the sign of Cancer, this is really ending the week. And I'll just show you here on my second chart. So between the two, you'll see some slight movements, but you'll see that the moon is going from your first house on Monday, and the moon is going right the way through to your fourth house. So this really, I would say, is about you, your body, your personal values. And then as we're coming to the end of the week, it's very much about how you belong, and then finally how you can come into softness. So let's have a little explore of this a little bit deeper. So I'm going to go to Tuesday the 2nd. The moon's in Taurus, and we've got Venus working in a lovely sextile with Pluto. Venus, that also rules Taurus. Venus is newly in the 9th house, and she's really wanting to get excited about things going on in her life. Venus is bringing in new opportunities to be excited, be connected to new people. It's often a time when we meet people from different places, from different like people with very different mind frame of reference to the ones that you've got. I mean, this is one of the things that's coming up actually Thursday with a full moon in Gemini. It feels like right now your life is expanding beyond what you knew its shape to be. With Mars in the 9th, this is a time when we really rapidly learn. And, this is a time when you are most likely really quite enthusiastic to keep learning more and more and more. It's a time when we have to move around a lot. We're quite irritable when we're penned in. And so there's a lot of movement, whether it's in your mind or in your body. With the sun here as well, you're really identified with things that are exotic, not necessarily things that are very normal, pedestrian, and from your childhood. You're much more in alignment with things that are a little bit different. And so with Venus coming in here, it often shows new people coming into your life, a feeling of gratitude for people who are a little bit more spiritual. I mean, really, your emphasis is coming out of the normal, the mundane, and everything that you've always known. So around Thursday the 4th, at the time of the full moon, it really wouldn't surprise me if it feels a little bit challenging, that either somebody local and close to you, maybe somebody from your peer group, maybe people that you work with, because they're obviously usually quite local and you usually see them a fair bit. It could be your siblings, cousins, the sort of energy that you were raised into. And it feels like there's a lot of tension around there. So you may well find that the people that you've known for a long time are suddenly really up in arms because you seem so different. You seem so changed. You seem so adventurous and kind of like, throwing caution to the wind. And yet that's okay. I mean, Venus here is in a lovely sextile to Pluto in the 11th house. To me, there's opportunities for you to meet people further and further and further afield. Sure, the people that love you and know you want you to kind of stay close to home and not to challenge, your internal friendship groups. And yet there's such a pull right now taking you away from the people that you have felt that you belonged to. And of course, no Aries really likes to feel like they belong to anyone. You belong to yourself, very much so. And so I do think that's a bit challenging. On Friday the 5th, there's a couple of other things taking place. For instance, we've got the sun in a square to the nodes. If I just go to this chart, you'll see it more. The sun here is in a square to the north node. The sun is also in a square to the south node. You also see Venus is in a square to the north and the south node. So these nodal squares coming in, it's I think it's reminding you of previous times when you've gone through change to sort of grow beyond your current shape. And when you've not taken the action to really say, no, this is who I am now. to me, like anywhere where you've been hedging your bets and like keeping your normal friends, your usual friends, your usual frame of reference, when you've kept it just to the side, just in case you need to refer back to it, and yet you've been galloping off into the future with your new, more futuristic, more altruistic, more open-minded friends, it's felt like you've been hedging your bets a little bit. And so with this sort of energy after the full moon and into Friday and possibly a little bit into Saturday, it might be actually prudent to make some choices. Now, this isn't the kind of advice I'd normally give. Normally I would say, oh yeah, just keep all your options open. But I really feel that as you make a bit more of a decision, or say, look, this is what I stand for now, and I can still be your friend, but I stand for something a little bit different. To me, that's quite powerful. So what I'm really seeing is that you're coming back into your power in terms of your belief systems, and you can't pretend to be somebody that you're not anymore. And so that feels really important. Now, as Saturday and Sunday come and the moon goes into the sign of Cancer, you're really kind of pulled home, but not because you have to be around the people that like and know you. To me, this is somewhere where you can come and get some nourishment, somewhere where you can relax a little bit, put your feet up, also attend to any emotions that you might have picked up along the way. I mean, I know a lot of people with Aries ascendant who would much rather prefer they don't feel things necessarily. And of course you do, because everyone does. But to me, this is a safe time for you to relax. So anywhere where you can give yourself a bit of tenderness, some care, slow down, notice what you're feeling, I think will be very beneficial. Also, we've got the very last of these water grand trines, and you'll see that Mercury is exactly in a trine to Jupiter, also exactly in a trine to Saturn, and the moon's also involved in this as well. And to me, this is a really nice way to end this week, because you started off resetting your nerves at the beginning of the week. Then in the middle of the week, there was a real sort of moment of clarity and illumination and a nudge to take some real action. And then at the end of this week, this is about rebalancing, coming back into yourself, nourishing yourself and thinking, okay, I feel a lot more authentic now. I really know who I am. Now, as we come into next week, we'll have the final opposition to Uranus. And that really will be ending that sort of long series of the typical energies of this autumn. So we are coming to the end of a story. I think what you do this coming weekend of the Saturday, the 6th and 7th, will really mark how you go into the following week. And, the following week has got some very exciting patterns in it as well. So I hope that's been helpful for you, Aries ascendant. And, if you like the way I talk about astrology and kind of put it into context in terms of, your life experience and what journey you're on right now, if you enjoy that and would like to go even deeper, then check out all of my links. Right now, I'm opening my doors for an astrological mentorship in 2026, where I meet with somebody once a month as part of a program to really learn about your astrology whilst also learning astrology, but really learning your patterns in a safe, guided, explorative way. So you really, really are learning your coding. So it's unmistakable. You can really see what's coming up. If that sounds like the kind of thing that is of interest, then just get in touch. My details are below, and I'll be delighted to speak a little bit more about it. But anyway, have a fabulous week ahead and catch up with you real soon. Bye for now.